The Cariban languages are an indigenous language family of South America. They are widespread across northernmost South America, from the mouth of the Amazon River to the Colombian Andes, but also appear in central Brazil. Cariban languages are relatively closely related. There are 2 to 3 dozen of them, depending on what is considered a dialect. Most are still spoken but often by only a few hundred speakers. The only one with more than a few thousand is Makushi, which has 30,000. The Cariban family is well known in the linguistic world partly because Hickscariana's default word order is object-verb-subject, which had previously not been thought to exist in human language. Some years prior to the arrival of the first Spanish explorers, Caribs invaded and occupied the Lesser Antilles and killed, displaced or assimilated the Arawaks who had inhabited the islands. The resulting language was Carib in name but largely Arawak in substance. That was because the invading Carib men killed Arawak men and took Arawak wives, who then passed their language on to the children. For a time, Arawak was spoken by women and children and Carib by adult men, but the situation was unstable. As each generation of Carib Arawak boys reached adulthood, they acquired less Carib until only basic vocabulary and a few grammatical elements were left. That island Carib became extinct in the Lesser Antilles in the 1920s but survives in the form of Garifuna, or Black Carib, in Central America. The gender distinction has dwindled to only a handful of words. Dominica is the only island in the eastern Caribbean to retain some of its pre-Columbian population, the Carib Indians, about 3,000 of whom live on the island's east coast. Family division. The Cariban languages are closely related, and in many cases where a language is more distinct, this is due to influence from neighboring languages rather than an indication that it is not closely related. Kaufman 2007 says, except for Open, Yukpa, Pimentera and Palmela, and possibly Paner, the Cariban languages are not very diverse phonologically and lexically, though more so than Romance, for example. Previous classifications. Good data has been collected around ca. 2000 on most Cariban languages. Classifications prior to that time, including Kaufman 2007, which relies on them, are unreliable. Several such classifications are seen. The one shown here divides Cariban into 7 branches. A traditional geographic classification into northern and southern branches is cross-referenced with N or S after each language. Galibi, Kalinya, N. Guiana Carib, Taranoan. Trio, Tirio Acurio, Saluma, N. Carihona Hianakoto, S. Caxiana, Sikiana, N. Caxiana, Warakiana, S. YY, Hickscariana, S. YY, N. Kaufman breaks this up into its constituent branches. North Amazonian Carib, Uwapari, Atruahi, Atrawari, Waimiri, N. Pemung, Makushi Peman, Aracuna, Akawayo Patamona, Kapong, Ingarico, N. Paraviliana, Paashiana. Kaufman breaks this up into its constituent branches, adding Purukoto to Pemung, Boaneri to Atruahi, Paraviliana, and Sapara to Paashiana. Central Carib, Wayana Apalai, N. Makuritari, Dekwana, S. Mapoyo Yavarana Pemono, N. Kaufman adds Chama Kumana, Arikaju, to Wayana, Yao, and Tivrakoto, Wajimara, to Makiritar. Tamanaku is close to Mapoyo. South Amazonian Carib, Bakairi, Kuakoro, Kalapalo, Amanap, Matipui, Nahukwa, S. Arara, Tiexacao, Ikpeng, Chikayan, Arara, Para, N. To Arara Kaufman adds extinct Juma, Apiaka Apingi, Yaruma, Yukpa, Japriria, N. Yukpa, N. Koyaima, N. Paner, N. Open Carare, Inclassified, Pimentera, Palmela. The extinct Patagon de Paraco language of northern Peru also appears to have been a Cariban language, perhaps close to Carihona. Yao is so poorly attested that Gilday believes it may never be classified. Gilday 2012 As of Gilday 2012, there had not yet been time to fully reclassify the Cariban languages based on the new data. The list here is therefore tentative, though an improvement over the one above. The most secure branches are listed first, and only 2 of the extinct languages are addressed. Harukoto and Katsuyana, Shikayana, Warakyana, YY, Wabui, Tunayana, Hixkariana, Picodian Bakairi, apparently including Kuakoro, Arara, Pariri, Ikban, Txakau, Venezuelan Carib Pemung Panair Pemung, Kapong, Akawayo, Patamuna, Ingarico, Makushi, Peman, Toraping, Kamarakoto, Arikuna, Panair Mapoyo Tamanaku, Kumana, Chama, Kumanagoda, Mapoyo Uwarana, Mapoyo, Wanai, Uwarana, Pemono, Tamanaku Nahukwa, Kuakoro, Kalapalo Guanan Carib Carinya, Carib, Kalinya, Carinya, Galibi, Makirater Dakwana, Mayangong, Yikwana, Teranoan Tirio, Akirio, Tirio, Trio Carahona Wayanan classified, Apalai Waimiri Atrori Yukpa, Japriria genetic relations. The Cariban languages share a regular morphology with the Jay and Tupi families, and Ribeiro connects them all in a Je-Tupi Carib family. Mira, Gilday, and Hoff 2010 note that likely morphemes in Proto-Tupian and Proto-Cariban are good candidates for being cognates, but that work so far is insufficient to make definitive statements. See also List of Spanish words of indigenous American Indian origin. Arawak peoples, Arawakan languages, Carib language, Taino language, Garifuna language. References, external links, Ethnolinguistica.org, online resources on native South American languages. Kalina Carib vocabulary list from the World Loanword Database.